Welcome back. We're diving back into the Lucasian professors at Cambridge. It's wild to think we're already on the seventh one, right? Today it's Isaac Milner. He may not be a Newton or a Hawking, but man, his story is something else.
You got that right. It just goes to show you, these guys, they didn't all follow the same path. You know, his journey to the Lucasian chair, it started far, far away from any lecture hall. Imagine the sound of looms, not equations.
Right, Weaver's apprentice. Starting there and then ending up at Cambridge as, like, a math superstar. It's crazy. How does it even happen?
His brother, Joseph Milner, he was the key. Smart guy himself, realized Isaac was, well, exceptional, got him into Cambridge, and once he was there, boom, senior wrangler in 1774.
Senior wrangler. Now, for those of us, not strolling through Cambridge, break that down for us. What does that even mean?
Oh, sure. So Cambridge has this thing, the mathematical tripos, top graduate of the year, that's your senior wrangler. It means you're like the best of the best at math. But get this, with Milner, they didn't just say senior wrangler, they wrote incomparabilis.
Incomparabilis. Gotta love the dramatic flair, huh? What's the big deal with that word?
Well, think about it, Cambridge. Back then, overflowing with geniuses, right? And they're saying, this guy, he's incomparable. And hold on, it gets better. They even left a blank line after his name in the Tripos records, like he was in a league of his own.
A blank line. Talk about a power move. Okay, Weaver to math god, it's already a wild ride. But it doesn't stop with math, does it?
Oh, no, not even close. Math was his thing, yeah, but this guy, he was all over the place, intellectually speaking. Astronomy, for one, stars and all that. And get this, he even invented stuff. Designed this really cool lamp and a water clock, can you imagine?
A lamp and a water clock. This guy's like a Renaissance man, but in the 18th century. Pure curiosity, or was he thinking, practical applications?
I'd say probably a bit of both, right? I mean, the guy just loved digging into, well, anything scientific. But yeah, he was practical too. You see it in his chemistry work, really groundbreaking stuff there.
All right, let's talk chemistry then. How did he go from math whiz to chemistry trailblazer?
So one of his big things, he figured out how to oxidize ammonia to nitric acid. Might sound like a small thing, but trust me, it's a game changer.
Okay, I'm hooked. How does something like that change the game?
It's kind of funny, actually. Years later, France, they're at war with England, and guess what they use to make gunpowder? Milner's process. Talk about unintended consequences, huh?
Wow, talk about a curveball. You never know where science is going to lead.
Nope, you really don't. And that's not all. He also took on this thing called the phlogiston theory of heat. Basically, they thought there was this, fire element, phlogiston, in anything that could burn. Milner. He said, nope, heat's all about motion, setting the stage for thermodynamics and all that.
Wow, so he's overturning established science now. Tell me more about this phlogiston thing and how Milner changed our understanding of heat.
Okay, so phlogiston, popular idea back then, but it had problems. Like, why do some things get heavier when you burn them? Didn't make sense. Milner, he was on the right track, though. Heat is motion, so that's the way to think about it. Thermodynamics,
So he's really pushing science forward. From math to chemistry, this guy never slows down. But wait, he does end up back in math, right? As the Lucasian professor.
Yep, that's right. 1798, he gets the big chair. But there's a twist. Health problems. He couldn't really give lectures.
Hold on, the Lucasian professor not lecturing. Did that, affect his impact at Cambridge?
Not a bit. No lectures, sure, but he still had a huge influence. The Smith's Prize, that one? Super tough math competition. Milner was the examiner. So yeah, he was still shaping the minds of Cambridge mathematicians.
That's dedication, even when he's not feeling great. Shows you the Lucasian professorship. It's not just about standing at a lectern, right? It's about, pushing the field forward.
Exactly. And speaking of pushing things forward, there's this funny story about Milner's successor, Edward Waring. Milner said Waring was a teaching fanatic, loved working with students.
Uh-huh. That's ironic, right? Yeah. Milner, the guy who couldn't lecture, gets followed by the teaching superstar. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But it just goes to show you, the Lucasian professors, they all had their own style, Brilliant, every one of them, but different approaches to the whole academic thing.
Yeah, it's a good point. Brilliance, it comes in many forms. Okay, but we got to talk about the other side of Milner, right? The guy was deeply religious, and that sometimes, let's just say it caused some friction.
You're right. Science was his thing, sure, but faith? That was at his core.
Yeah.
He was a big part of this evangelical revival at Cambridge. Personal religious experience, stick to the Bible, that was the whole idea.
But Cambridge, it's all about, free thinking, challenging the status quo. How'd that go over Milner's strong beliefs? Did it ever clash with the whole intellectual vibe there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You can't have those kind of strong convictions without ruffling a few feathers, right?
Yeah.
Especially at Cambridge. One big example, the whole William Friend thing. The Friend affair. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I bet some of our listeners haven't. Who was this Friend guy and what made everyone so upset?
So Friend was a fellow at Jesus College, pretty outspoken about, well, everything religious. Then, bam, 1793, he publishes this pamphlet, Peace and Union. Let's just say he wasn't exactly singing the praises of the Church of England.
I bet that went over well, taking on the Church of Cambridge back then. What did Milner think about all this?
Well, Milner, devout guy, right, he saw it as a personal attack, like Friend was going after the very heart of Cambridge. So Milner, he gets things rolling, legal action and all that, ends with Friend on trial, kicked out of the university.
Kicked out. Wow, they didn't mess around back then. It really makes you think about the whole freedom of speech thing, right?
Yeah.
Especially in academia.
Absolutely. It was a huge debate, even then. Can you speak your mind even if it goes against, well, everything? Milner, he drew a line in the sand, for sure.
Yeah, it's tricky. On one hand, academic freedom, you got to be able to challenge ideas, right? But then you have guys like Milner. Faith is everything to them, and they see these ideas as like a threat to their whole world. How do you balance that?
That's the question, isn't it? We're still wrestling with it today. Freedom of speech, religious freedom, where do you draw the line? Milner, by today's standards, some might say he went too far, but you got to look at it through the lens of his time, right? Back then, religion and social standing, they were, like, intertwined.
That's true. You can't just judge the past by today's rules. These deep dives, it's not about, taking sides. It's about trying to understand these people, their choices, the world they lived in.
Exactly. We're not here to condemn or celebrate, right? It's all about exploring how ideas change, how people grapple with, well, just being human.
Okay, so we've reached the end of our journey with Isaac Milner. Big takeaways. What do we remember about the seventh Lucasian professor?
Well, for one, Milner shows us that brilliance, it has many faces. Math genius, groundbreaking chemist, man of faith, and yeah, a bit of a controversial figure. He reminds us that even the brightest minds, they're shaped by their time, right? And sometimes they have to deal with some tough contradictions. He changed math, changed chemistry, changed Cambridge, no doubt about that. But his legacy, it's also about his faith and how that sometimes led to conflict.
It's like you said, history. It's messy, full of people who, well, they don't fit in neat little boxes.
Yeah.
And that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating. We discover, we question, and we get a little closer to understanding these incredible minds.
I like that. Isaac Milner, maybe not a household name like some of the others, but his story, it's pure Cambridge. Brilliance, faith, controversy, and that endless search for knowledge.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, for our listeners who are now hopefully just as fascinated by Milner as we are, where should they go next? What should they check out?
His chemistry work, definitely. The oxidation of ammonia to nitric acid, that's a good one to dig into. You really see his scientific mind at work. And for the whole picture, his life, the Friend affair, there are some great biographies out there.
Perfect. And of course, we always say, go beyond the summaries, folks. Find those original sources, the letters, the documents. That's where the real story is.
You said it. Nothing beats going straight to the source, right? You get a feel for the time, the people. It's like stepping back in time.
Yeah, on that note, we'll wrap up our time with Isaac Milner, the seventh Lucasian professor. But the journey continues, folks. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and most importantly, keep diving deep into the lives of these amazing minds.
Well,